The boy never imagined that after turning around, his level would have no upper limit, and that his water attribute would be a rare double S. The sight stunned every noble present. Even his father, the emperor, broke his usual composure. But that wasn't even the most outrageous part. As he grew older, he discovered that the abilities of his followers would enhance his own stats. In other words, he could grow stronger by increasing his subordinates. Even so, at only 6 years old, his abilities were still quite limited. Combined with his identity as the 13th prince, one wrong move could make him a sacrifice in the struggle for the throne. That day, the crown prince and the 4th prince paid him a special visit. On the surface, they claimed to be bringing him a gift, but in reality, it was full of probing and hostility. It turned out that the sword before him was the Empire's strongest water attribute magic sword. However, 120 people had already died trying to tame it. The moment an ordinary person picked it up, they would be cursed to death. Letting Jack hold the sword was meant to test whether someone with SS-ranked water affinity could control it, and with the result already obvious, the two exchanged a few polite words and left. Jack could only swallow his anger. Little did he know, the crown prince's schemes didn't end there. That evening, Jack noticed something was off about his maid. After questioning her, he learned she wanted to take a long leave. Recently, her hometown had been hit by floods, and her mother had lost her job as a result. Relatives suggested she go work in the red light district, saying that since she had served a prince, she would fetch a good price. Jack immediately decided to bring the maid's mother into the estate. He offered a salary far above standard, and had already planned her duties and lodging. The reason was simple. If something like this were allowed to happen, the reputation of the 13th prince would be utterly ruined. Since she was his maid, she would serve him for life. But even that wasn't enough. Jack then summoned the steward. He planned to buy the land in that area, because disasters often came with corruption. There were always parasites, trying to exploit those who had lost their livelihoods. These words shocked the steward. He never expected a 6-year-old child to handle an unfamiliar crisis. What he didn't know was that, before reincarnation, Jack had seen this kind of thing countless times. But the core problem was obvious. How could he raise the funds to buy that land? It would cost about 700,000. The taxes from Jack's territory, plus the emperor's rewards, added up to only 500,000 available funds. After careful consideration, Jack made a decision. He would sell another piece of land the emperor had rewarded him with, even if his father